the weather, I think, time of year. I was really tired. I had this weird dream last night. I went on a journey. Someone was dragging me on into a pub or a party or something, I don't know. But it was kind of strange because I seemed to be more concerned about my handbag and my coat for some reason. Maybe because my handbag was empty. I don't know. It kind of felt strange because there's something missing, like, you know. Anyway, so we ended up going on this bus trip now. I was in somewhere familiar and I'm thinking, oh, it's weird, you know, it's a strange dream. And it wasn't a bad dream or anything. And I got off the bus and, yeah, that was it. Very strange. I know, yeah. It's kind of up, it was quite kind of happy-go-lucky, happy, you know, smiley. And, yeah, it was a good dream. But I don't know what it was about. It was silly, really. Alright, so I wanted to do a quick update because I did a couple of live streams a few days ago with the magnet motor hybrid. I should be calling it magnet generator actually, because really it is a generator, really. Sorry about calling it a motor, but technically it is a hybrid, right? Which is, it's got segments which help to propel it forward so there's less drag, right? So it's a motorised generator, but it doesn't self-drive itself. Not yet, anyway. So I've got this thing hooked up to the power supply. We're at, I haven't started it yet. We're at, let's see, 11.5 volt. So we're about the same voltage I was running on the lithium-ion battery pack. So I'm going to turn on the RPM meter because I've got these batteries charged up now, so we can see what's going on. Let's just get the RPM meter hooked up. Flipping! I hate these clips. My VCR's got dust all over it, or the monitor's got dust all over it. It's difficult to put these clips on with one hand. So there's the RPM meter. Let's start this thing up and just it's just really just a, hang on, just swap hands. I was talking about the zero cogging. Yeah, this thing has got no cogging on it, right? I'll turn it. There is a bit of cogging, but that's from this little motor down here. That's because it's air cord, right? The coils are air cord, but we have these metal deflectors on the back and the magnet arrangement on the rotor. Basically acts as the core, but it's a moving core, not a stationary core, so that's why we don't have cogging. Anyway, let me just switch this thing on. Flipping heck, I'm not having much fun trying to connect this up. Right, let's get this hook. Oh, don't short my wires. Starts up by itself. Got it on. So it's connected up. Got the oscilloscope going as well. And see the RPM speed up. So I wanted to show you the speed, the maximum speed it gets up to. Or back out a bit so I can see the oscilloscope. I'll try to get the oscilloscope to display a bit better, but I might be able to see there. I'll put it in the camera stand, but then it's a bit low down and you can't see the oscilloscope properly. Sorry, I've got vertigo, I keep losing my balance. Voltages. We're under load, by the way, at the moment. I've got my resistor connected. Let's disconnect my resistor. It's it's a 43 ohm resistor. I disconnected it now. I'll connect the resistor again. Oh, the input current is just a bit over 300 milliamps. So I went in at about 12 volts, still have 11 volts. So if we go to 11 volts, it'll be about 300 milliamps, which is what I said the other day. Let's go down to 11 volts. Right, we're on 11 volts exactly, which will slow down a bit. Current. Supercapacitors need to equalise. The supercapacitors so we're dropping speed because I dropped the voltage. So I dropped the speed and the RPM's dropped to, well, it's dropping because I dropped the voltage on the motor. And the output, we're still under load. We have a 43 ohm resistor across the load, the output. So that's the speed, RPM. And our current is actually at 11 volts, is actually below 300 milliamps. It's at, well, it's going up a bit because it's equalising. The supercapacitors down here are equalising the load. So we are at about, like I said before in the previous live stream, we are basically 300 milliamps, right? So, well, 290 milliamps, 295. We should be a bang on 300 milliamps when this equalises. So our speed at 11 volts drive for the motor is 2,400 RPM with a 43 ohm resistor on it, and our output with the 43 ohm resistor is cyclic RMS is 1.24 volts AC, peak to peak 4.92. Let's take the load off again. So disconnect the load. As you can see, there's very little change on RPM. We'll check the current. We are at 300 milliamps. Right on the nose. Oh yeah, some more news. My battery balancing circuit board arrived today. While we're waiting for that, I'll try and show you it. I'll wait for it to stabilise a bit. So I've got this in the mail, the battery balance circuit and the leads, and I'm still building the battery boxes at the moment. I'm actually balancing some batteries out there, and I put copper connections on the back on all of these. So yeah, we'll come back to that another time because it's not urgent. So we're stabilised at 2,436 RPM. We're not under load at the moment. Our peaked RMS is 1.72 volts. Peak to peak 7.8 volts. That's just one coil. And bear in mind, when I get this canopy with a full set of coils on it, we're going to be doing really well. And don't forget, there's only one side of this populated with magnets. The rotor on the back side has no magnets in it, right? And it needs to have magnets on the front and the back. And I have to order some more because I'm saving up a bit of money. It'll be after Christmas now anyway. So when I get the back side populated with magnets, we're going to double the voltage and current, possibly triple it actually, on this coil. And well, it should be tripled actually. And then when we get the other two coils wound as well, that's gonna, well, if you triple that voltage and current on that coil, right, then multiply that by 3, you'll get a rough idea what kind of a voltage we're going to get. So because you see, when you put magnets on the back side, you have magnets pushing against each other on both sides, you have a bigger field coming out. It amplifies it. And also there's only one magnet. Let me show you the picture in a minute. So in the rotor at the moment, what's that crap doing? So these slots at the top, at the moment there's just one magnet energizing the coil, right? The new design is going to have 3 magnets coming down here, right? Let me just bring up SketchUp and show you. I'll just load SketchUp up a minute and I'll show you what I've done. So it's gonna be even better, right? A lot better. Just load this model up and show you the. Come on, SketchUp. Right, so. Right, so here's the optimized version. Instead of just one row of anti-drag magnets there, these are the anti-drag magnets. Instead of one row, eventually I'll plan to double them up like this. Right, so we're going to have the power generated magnets coming down. I'll back them up a bit to increase the amount of anti-drag. So there's a bit of a gap between where these magnets come. So by backing these off a little bit, it also spreads the magnetic field sideways more for the coils that are on the side here to capture more energy as well. So we're capturing energy on the sides a little bit. By backing the magnets down a bit, the field can spread out more on the sides of the coil, so we'll have a bigger field effect. So we'll have a bigger gap between there and there, but that's fine because there's going to be extra magnets in anyway, so it's going to be a bigger field coming out. So that's the new design I'm going to be doing later on. Let's have a look at the speed. 2438 without a load on it. Voltage is 7 point somewhat volts peak to peak. Circuit 1.72. I'll put my load back on again. Right, so it's gone now to 1.24 volts. RMS. Peak to peak 4.96, and our RPM you can see there's very little change in the RPM when I put a load on it. I need to optimise the anti-drag part, which is what I've done here by backing these magnets off a bit. These magnets that are consecutive will give opposition to the drag to reduce the amount of drag, so the coil will be able to interact more with these segments that are here, so it will improve that even more. So RPM has dropped to 2405, 2405 RPM. Seems to have stopped there. Now I've said it, it'll drop to 2404 or something. Oh, it's stabilised. Oh, it's going back up again, look. Does weird things like that. It's going back up. It's still under load. And the cyclic RMS is at 1.24. Yeah. I'll take the load off again. Pretty quiet, isn't it? So I've taken the load off. Input current is a bit under 200 milliamps. Yeah, I can't stand here all day, I'm getting tired. I'm going to have another nap soon, I think. Just tired. You can ignore the yellow channel because it's not plugged into anything. picking up background for some reason. Probably just the leads hanging over the scope, I don't know. So that's without the load on it. Stabilise, I think. I'll leave the load on anyway. I'll put the load back on. I'll turn it off. Takes forever to stop with the supercapacitors, I tell you. If I switch it off now. So I've turned the power supply off, it's just running off the supercapacitors till they run flat. And it drops pretty slowly. So we're just discharging the supercapacitors right now. So they'll drop off to 0 eventually. But anyway, I'm going to unplug it because I don't want to run them down anyway. So I'll unplug it. There we go. Now we can see it drop like a stone, but it won't drop that fast because it's not got much drag on it. It's freewheeling now. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. Oh, my daughter's messaging me. So I'll see you later. Bye for now.